Hi everyone! Today I would like to show you demonstration of beautiful ornament. And before start, just mention about the material that we use. It's a limited palette, not much. And we use black color, white, yellow, green, and the red color for our ornament on top of Christmas tree. So the other material that we use to really useful to have it's a palette knife. It can be metal like this or a plastic one, but the reason that I really love the palette knife is because you are not wasting your paint. You can mix your paint easily and it's not damage the hair of your brush, and then you can mix the paint. And for example, if you need warm red, you can mix a black into the red. You can have lighter green by mixing yellow and white in it, and it's better not to use with the brushes so it can damage this part. I prefer to use palette knife. This is a useful material. The other things is the brushes that we have. I prefer to have one big size. If I compare with the surface that we work, this is a good size for this size of the canvas or wood panel, which is 5 by 5 inches, and this is a little smaller one. And for some details we can have pointy and round brush to use. So these are the material of brushes, and the surface can be like a wood panel. It can be canvas, regular canvas, a standard, or gallery one. Gallery is a little bit thicker, or wood panel can be thicker on the edges, and you can paint on four sides of the surface and then hang it on a wall without any frame. Or even if you like, you can paint on top of canvas paper, which is good as well. But wood and paper absorb a little bit more than canvas. The other things we can have is paper palette. So it's more easy to use paper palette for mixing our paint because it's just one paper sheet, and then you can put it in a garbage. We don't need to clean the surface because of acrylic has glue inside. It's not easy to get rid of it. So if you have everything around with glass of water, rag or napkin, which is useful to have around, we can start our painting. Now I take my smaller brush for quick drawing. And it doesn't matter which color we use, it's okay. Any color. I go to use hooker green and try to draw the circle. First of all, I try to separate the top and bottom of my circle that I would like to place it, and then it's better to place it here. The big one is more toward the right and the smaller one is more toward the left and up. So I first of all choose the whole shape of my ornament on the right side, top, bottom, left and right, and then try to connect those lines that I draw by very gently C-curve. It doesn't need to be so accurate because we finish our background and then we can move on and then fix and make correct the circle of ornament. But it's not bad. This is the big one. Even the hanger should be placed on top. simple drawing like that. And then I move on smaller one. The smaller one is placed on top. I can mention about the top and bottom with left and right. Then connect this line together. So this is my quick drawing of ornaments. Even a tiny bit of hanger should be placed on top. Now we can move on, color background. Now we move on for background color. For background color, I start to adding darker tone first of all, and try to have a simple and tiny brush stroke like this kind of stroke, because it looked like the Christmas tree, and I would like to show that these are the tiny leaves that push and beside each other. So I try to follow the same way for all part of the background. First of all, I move on with the dark tone, and then in between I bring the mid-tone, which is pure hooker green, and the light tone, this part. The mixture of green with yellow and white. Even we can leave some texture, leave some paint. We can take heavy paint like this and try to leave it on top of painting and not blend it a lot and angle it visible. This is a little bit thickness we can see on top of our wood panel. And then I move on into pure hooker green, take heavy paint and bring it on top of this darkness and leave it with small brush stroke. And I prefer not to use blending a lot. I prefer to have texture on top of the painting, which is so interesting because after it gets dry, when you touch the surface, you will feel all this texture. So I move on, follow the same brush stroke the same way for all the background around the ornament. Even it's better not to let it dry. At the same time, the lighter tone can become on top and add on surface. When the surface is wet, even they can blend together a little bit, mix together, and the colors not separate from each other. Light and dark move on together, and very gently background be visible. Even move on toward the dark as well. Let it blend together very nice and gently. Most of the part is covered by hooker green and the light tone, but we have some part which is really dark, and then we move on toward this darkness. Now for next part, I'm going to use pure yellow, white, and a little bit lighter blue, lighter green for some light on our Christmas tree. We show that this is the Christmas tree and the ornament is hanging on that part. And then randomly you can add yellow on top of these colors. It's already wet, doesn't matter. It can mix a little bit with yellow and this is already good result. But we will add gently the yellow color on top, and again more light color will be here and then less on the other side. But again we need heavy paint and very gently let it move on top of the light green color. With a smaller brush, heavy paint, and so gently move on randomly on the green part. I'm not going to add a lot, it makes it really busy. Prefer to use a little bit on the left side and right side as well. Then clean the brush with napkin, not with water, and just move on pure white color. The light can be in different angle. It can be toward left or bottom. It would be enough, not much. Even we can add a little bit on edges as well. I'm not going to add more, just enough. And then let it dry. Now for the next part, I would like to move on toward these two ornaments and start with the red color. But the red color even has two values. Pure red color I can use, and the dark color of red, it's okay to take some red, bring it aside. A tiny bit black, very less, because it's better little by little to add the black in red, because black it's so dark and can change the value of our color easily. So I see that I'm happy with this value or not, then I can add a little bit more to check. I think would be okay. Then clean the palette knife and start apply with the smaller brush on our ornament. The first one is just a pure red on the left side. Even we can use heavy paint on ornament as well. And then the darker color would be on the right side. I really use heavy paint, but these two separate from each other, so I always clean it by napkin and at the same time move on lighter tone to bring it on top and try to get rid of these edges by bringing red into the dark tone and dark tone into the lighter red. And then I can see I'm happy with this movement or not. The shine that we have with the light color, it will come at the end. But still I would like to have a little bit lighter tone here. So I take my red with a tiny bit white, even yellow. These are so gentle and tiny. And then move on with this left side to let it be lighter with some small brush stroke, and then clean it by napkin. Now for the big one, which has a beautiful decoration of colors, red and the white. I start with the pure red color. I start to follow the decoration from the top, move on with the gentle C curve toward the down bottom of ornament. And at the same time I try to keep the drawing a little bit, be careful. Just one value for now. And then move on with the dark value for the bottom of ornament to make it like ball and curvy. Bring it up. For disappearing the edges, just back with the red and try to help it disappear. Even with the dark tone, we can add one line here to make the shadow. Now with the same red, start the other part. Shape the ornament. A little bit bigger. Then move on for the top and bottom with a dark tone. Now I am going to add the light part of ornament and then this color of hanger. And we need a little bit, not just a pure white, it's a white, but for the shadow, because here we have a shadow part. So for that part we need to take a little bit white. I have yellow ochre, so I mix yellow ochre and the white and make some creamy color that's really good for shadow. So we use this creamy color and the light for all this part which is left. But the hanger is a little bit grayish color we need. So for that grayish color, I'm going to take my white, tiny bit black to make that gray color. And it depends, if you like more dark gray, you can add more black. If you need less gray, we need less black. So this is gray and creamy color. So clean the palette knife. And now we can move on. Smaller brush or pointy brush, it's better to use this one, it's much more easier. And I'm going to start with the shadow part, which is creamy color for this one. Very gently try to add a stroke around the green part. and I would like to keep the curvy shape of ornament as well. So this is the dark part. Clean the brush and then move on with pure yellow color. The center is more light color, so I'm going to add pure white. Then let it dry. Again, back to creamy color. Try to keep the shape of ball. Even at the same time, because it's dark, should be, and we can use creamy or even this grayish color. Some parts it's okay to bring because of the shadow. Just 1 or 2 stroke would be okay, or even the pure yellow ochre would be okay, like that. It helps this is a little darker and make it more look like the ball. And then move on to the white, pure white color. Try to keep the edges so clean. The same happened for these two as well. If we come by mistake into the green, it's fine. We will add the green color and fix it later. And then I can move on with the grayish color. Clean it. Move on pure color of white. Now the last part and the finishing part is the shine that we can see on top of ornament, and that happened with just a pure white color. So we can make some shine as a circle like this on top of our ornament to be visible as a shine. And because of texture of ornament, it will happen to see some shine around. And the reason I am not adding the creamy style of this shape with the pure white, because I would like to add the shine on top. So even I can add some here too on this ornament. Even on the bottom part, it can be like the line like this. It can narrow. Or heavy a little bit. And we have this shine on the background that's visible. And on top of the hanger too. And we have everything to call it our painting is finished. And thank you so much for joining me, and hope you enjoy painting ornament.